Ominous indeed.
When many of the Elder Gods were corrupted and became what we would call demons, the god Atum, born from Gaia herself, was set upon our world to slay these monsters. In that sense, the two of you have had a shared purpose. Fight well, Hunter, and he may just honor you with his blessing.
I am impressed. I saw a move like that once, centuries ago. Leave some for the rest of us. Your loyalty to the Mother of Demons will be your undoing. You were too weak for this fight.
Atum was unleashed and made quick work of the demons, but in the process, he became something of a monster himself. He even became known as the Demogorg, the God Eater.
If this is a cautionary tale, your timing could use some work. Now that was something. They cannot possibly match your strength. Your time has come! Maybe you do not realize the trouble you are in, friend. Welcome assistance. Now that was something. I saw a move like that once, centuries ago. No mercy for the servants of Lilith. Your mother abandons you.
The Elder Gods are clearly aware of Lilith's efforts. These beasts may look like her children, but they're only illusions meant to test your skills.
Your fate is sealed. Feel my call. Once again, Lilith's servants fall. They cannot possibly match your strength. Leave some for the rest of us. I am impressed. Return to your mother.
I think Blade is honestly jealous that you're getting this extra training. Live talkers too.
You are unprepared. You have earned this. Pathetic. The light is on our side. This shall be of great help.
If that doesn't make an impression on Autumn, I don't know what will. Good work, Hunter.
Oh, this looks like it belongs here.
With Atum's help, you shouldn't have any trouble uncovering the more elusive elements hidden throughout the grounds. Why don't you try out his blessing on that stone over there?
Autumn be praised. Autumn reveals all. The son of Gaia approves. There must not be anything here. He sees our path. What is this? There are cracks in this wall. This rubble looks loose. Autumn must not see it that way. The gods are fickle. If I remember correctly, this is the grave of Will Walker, a notoriously vicious but effective vampire hunter. Blade would have liked him. Agatha, what is this?
The corrupted influence of the Elder God Chthon. But we won't be able to heal the Abbey grounds until we've recovered the Moon Seal, stolen by Hiram Shaw.
Remind me about the seal?
I think you've gotten ahead of yourself, dear. You'll need to find the Moon Seal first. A trial awaits you. Hunter, hello.
Autumn, show me the way. Oshter smiles upon me. I need to find the next Moon Seal. The Goddess of Order approves. Agatha's house. Ah, I see. She does not see it happening. If it was here, Autumn would show me. Chthon's dark influence has tainted this well. Autumn does not answer. Must not be her purview. Autumn be praised. Something terrible happened here. This area, it feels wrong somehow. I sense an old suffering.
Members of the local coven were persecuted here. And worse.
Witches?
Salem's history with witches may have been distorted over the years, but some things are true. The witches of Salem did their best to thwart Shaw, but he rallied his congregation against them. The catalyst of the infamous Salem witch trials. When the Coven called out in distress, it was Lilith and Sarah who came to their aid.
They came all the way from Transia, with the Abbey, to help a group they had never met?
You may not believe it, but I'm sure you would have done the same. Isn't that why the Sons are here today? Aside from that, your mother and Sarah both saw the signs of Chthon's influence. They knew there was more happening in Salem than the persecution of witches.
Chthon's corruption had taken root in the New World, just like the colonists themselves.
And while Lilith and Sarah were still preoccupied in Transia, they entrusted one of the Moon Seals to the Knights of Wundagore, who brought it to the Coven with the hope that its power would reinforce them enough to deal with Shaw.
But that is not what happened.
Unfortunately, no. When the plague came to Salem, the same one that afflicted your father, Shaw used it to further agitate his flock by placing the blame squarely on the Coven.
And the witches?
The mob was vicious. And the rest is history.
But what about the Moon Seal?
After the trials, the Moon Seal vanished along with Shaw. Without drawing any conclusions, I think we can both guess where it went.
If this was his church, then it is possible the seal is still here, or somewhere nearby.
You read my mind. Good hunting, dear.
Autumn thinks otherwise. How long did the Salem witches hide here before meeting their end? This must be Shaw's study. Tell me about Hiram Shaw.
By all accounts, as I understand it, he was a largely unsuccessful minister before his arrival at Salem, traveling from place to place, swindling whatever followers he managed to gain before being run out of town. To think that a simple man like Shaw finding a piece of the Darkhold was enough to set all of this in motion, it puts...
What do you know about my father?
That's not an easy question, dear. What would you like to know? Was he a good man? Yes, I think he was. Your mother loved him dearly, and he doted over her. I think for a time she forgot who she was, where she came from. And I don't mean that as a bad thing. She and Sarah both deserve to find something more than just another fight with Chthon. Lilith did. Sarah didn't. At least, not for a while longer still. I honestly think that's the only thing she ever had against him, blood or not. Until we speak again.
Autumn does not answer. Blessings of the goddess. Autumn thinks otherwise. This ward is not like anything I have seen on the grounds before.
And yet, it's familiar somehow.
Like the wards of protection that Wanda invoked to protect Dr. Strange's sanctum?
Very perceptive, dear. Maybe you should approach the good doctor and see if he has any insights. And Hunter, be circumspect. Dr. Strange is no fool.
Autumn reveals all. That did not work. I should try a different combination. That did not work. I should try a different combination. That did not work.
Ah, Hunter, I was just admiring the collection. Someone spent a great deal of time piecing this library together. I hope you don't mind me, having a look around.
Of course not, Doctor. The library is an asset to us all.
I see I'm not the only one who's taken an interest in these works. You haven't been getting into anything precarious, I hope?
I have found something on the Abbey grounds that I think you should see.
Oh, sounds mysterious. By all means, lead the way. You were right to bring this to my attention, Hunter.
I thought it resembled one of your wards of protection.
There's a reason for that. It's the same magic Wanda invoked in her attempts to protect the Sanctum. But what is it that you're chasing out here? These wards aren't something to toy with.
I will not know for sure until I get past this. Is there any way to dispel it?
Unfortunately, no. What good would the wards of protection be if they were so easily broken? But I have been wrong before, at least recently. Do you have any suspicions as to who may have conjured this here?
Wanda spent a great deal of time out here, and she had the power.
She does have some experience with these spells, but why would she do that?
The only way I will know for sure is to find a way through to the other side.
I'll think on it and see if I can come up with some way to assist you, Hunter. For now, though, you'll have to be patient.
That is something.
Yes, dear?
I have heard that Wanda's power comes from Chthon.
The way I understand it, as a child, Wanda and her family lived in Transia, not far from Mount Wundagore. Within that mountain, the dark god Chthon had long been imprisoned, his corruptive influence an ongoing threat to the people of Transia.
And Wanda was affected?
Whether Chthon reached out to Wanda, or he found her by chance, I can't say. But Wanda was blessed or cursed by Chthon, touched by the power of chaos magic. While he had hoped to make her some sort of acolyte, she proved to be more capable than even he foresaw.
What can you tell me about Chthon?
One of the first Elder Gods, Chthon is said to have existed for tens of millions of years, well before the dawn of humanity on Earth. Believe it or not, he wasn't always the bastion of evil that we know today.
This story sounds familiar.
As the legend goes, the downfall of the old gods was actually brought upon by Chthon's brother Set, who found that by consuming his siblings, he could gain their power. After Set consumed Hypus, Chthon followed suit with the others, and in this way, many of the first gods also became the first demons.
And how did he come to be imprisoned on Earth?
In the same way Hydra has worked to restore Lilith, various cultists of the past sought to revive Chthon to wield his power. When Chthon failed to cooperate, these same cultists did the only thing they could. They locked him away again.
What do you know about Transia?
Transia is your ancestral homeland, Hunter. The birthplace of Lilith and Caretaker. It has always been a sort of magical junction, drawing in every type of occultist, sorcerer, and even the occasional elder god. The Abbey grounds still behave in much the same way, even after all this time.
And Wundagore?
Wundagore Mountain has always played a prominent role in whatever scheme was underway. Chthon himself is said to have created the Darkhold, deep within the caverns of the mountain.
What was Caretaker like when she was younger?
I'm sure it's difficult to remember now, but Sarah wasn't always the steadfast contrarian. In our younger days, she was much more enthusiastic about dashing off to save the day, not unlike some of our younger allies among the Suns.
That does not sound like the Caretaker we know and love.
Keep in mind, Hunter, Sarah has faced a great deal of loss in her time here. Everyone she ever cared about, in fact. I would say she's earned the right to be disagreeable, at the very least. She is a very strong woman. I'm not sure I would have held up as well given the same circumstances.
Who were the Knights of Wundagore?
Another mysterious group of heroes in a world full of mysterious groups. Of course, I'm no expert on Transian history. I do know that the Knights of Wundagore were formed as a response to the growing threat of Chthon's influence near the mountain.
What exactly did they do?
Hydra was hardly the first to dabble in chthonic schemes. Many have tried and failed to awaken the Dark God. Over the centuries, the Knights fought alongside a number of allies who stood against the various crazed worshippers of Chthon.
You were there? At the witch trials?
Not initially, no. If I had been, I like to think I could have stopped them before it was too late. I sensed something was wrong, and when the witches cried out in distress, I came to Salem as quickly as I could.
But Shaw had already committed his crimes against them?
Yes. It was a devastating discovery. And for the longest time, I blamed myself.
But you see now it was not your fault.
I've come to understand that we must accept the past and move on. But that doesn't mean I won't always carry that pain with me.
I know that feeling all too well.
I know. And I wish you didn't, dear. I really do.
Curious.
Sorry, dear. Hope I didn't startle you. Hunter, you saw her, didn't you? Wanda.
What does she want?
What we all want. To be found.
What if that is not the real Wanda? What if my mother is using her image to manipulate us?
What does your gut tell you, Hunter? Does it tell you she was real?
Yes, it does.
Then listen to that. I know you didn't know Wanda, but I did. She's family, Hunter. We cannot leave her behind. Besides, we can't win this battle against your mother without her. So find her, Hunter. Bring her back. For all our sakes. What are you doing here, Hunter? You need to find the Midnight Suns and save...
I want to ask you something, but you can't make fun of me, okay?
Fire away, Robbie.
Well, there is this online video game tournament, and I was kind of wondering, will you be my player too?
Is Peter not the obvious choice? Does he not get automatically drafted?
No, felt we've gotten pretty close. It doesn't feel right to not at least offer you the spot. Besides, there will be plenty of other tournaments for me and Peter to dominate.
So, what did I do to deserve this honor, Robbie?
I could ask you the same question. What did I do to deserve all your confidence in me?
I rarely meet someone as true and honest to himself as you, Robbie, which explains how you can master your spirit of vengeance without letting it control you.
Calling someone like that back home can get you a nice beating. But I'll take it as a compliment. I sometimes wonder if you'd still think that way if it wasn't for Sparky. Don't get me wrong, we're a solid duo, there's no doubt about it. But on my own, would I be that great? I'm not so sure.
Would Nico be great without her staff of one? Would Ileana be as intimidating without her time in limbo?
I see what you're doing here, Hunter. Yeah, they would still be legit heroes. But I can't kick the feeling that it's not the same for me.
It is exactly the same. You can give powers and teach skills to anyone, but only the right person will rise to the challenge and become a true hero.
Okay, fine. You've made your point.
Repeat it until any last bit of doubt is erased from your mind, starting now.
I am the hero.
Perfect. Have you seen any of the Midnight Suns? I need to speak to them.
I think I overheard Blade talking about how he was going to the chapel, which is weird. I didn't think vampires could go into churches or chapels or whatever. See what I know about the supernatural. Hope he doesn't think Carol is gonna meet him there.
Thanks, Peter.
No problemo. Hope you find them.
Hydra forces have taken the Sanctum, Tower, and most of the best retail outlets in Manhattan. They keep making moves. About time we did the same.
Our intel points to Lilith being in the Sanctum. That's where we need to strike.
Been there, done that. Wasn't our finest hour.
That symbiote shell has withstood everything we've thrown at it. Lilith chose Venom for good reason.
Don't forget about Bruce.
Never. Look, the Avengers were formed for good reason. And I'm assuming the Suns were too. I haven't seen a threat yet this group can't overcome. So we can put our heads together Find a way to do the impossible. Or, we could just wait for Hydra to come knocking on our doors. I don't know about you, but I don't like playing defense. So I say to hell with Lilith and her pet symbiote monster. Let's take the Sanctum back.
Ah, I've missed these little talks.
Yeah, okay. I'm slightly convinced. Guess it couldn't hurt to talk with Professor Von Spooky, see if we can't come up with something together.
Now that is the definition of impossible.
Let us know if you come up with any ideas. In the meantime, I for one would enjoy getting a little payback on Hydra.
Hey, some of us aren't immortal quasi-invulnerable demigods.
How's it going?
Everything all right, caretaker?
That's what I wanted to ask you. You seem distracted lately, not quite yourself. I feel like something must be going on with you, and I wish you'd tell me what.
I am not the one who is distracted.
Excuse me?
Ever since the fall of the Avengers Tower, you seem overwhelmed.
Well, it was quite a blow to our forces. If I've been distracted, it's been for a good reason. Speaking of seeming distracted, have you seen any of the Suns?
I have not.
They're all conspicuously missing this morning. Probably off somewhere complaining about me, no doubt. If you see any of them, please ask them to come see me. There is something I'd like to talk to them about.
Let's touch base.
Huh. Of all the things to use magic for.
What kind of mirror is this again?
It is a spell of sorts. That is what Agatha used to say, anyway.
What sort? The dark sort?
A discernment spell. Well, more of a tracking ritual, like a seance. And no, it's not dark. I got it right from the source. I'll put it back before Caretaker even knows it's missing.
Hey man, we gotta try something. I mean, it has to be a sign, right? That all four of us had the same dream of Wanda? Make that 5.
You win. Ouija away, or whatever.
Lock the door. Remember, once we start, we don't stop. Keep your mind focused on Wanda. Ego, Spiritus, Ad.
Got it.
What did I just say?
Do not break the connection.
Okay, sorry. Right.
This is how Atlantis sank.
Ego, Spiritus, Ad, May.
Ego spiritus ad me.
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 Ego Spiritus Ad Me. Ego Spiritus Ad Me.
Whoa! Anyone else see that?
She said not to break the connection.
Well, you just did.
Ego Spiritus Ad Me. Ego Spiritus Ad Me. Ego Spiritus Ad Me.
Was that our fault?
I think so.
Disconnect! Pull the plug or something!
It's too late.
Spiritus Ad Me. Ego Spiritus.
Crap.
wouldn't trust those two to chant their own names.
I am going to open a rift to the negative zone in their showers when we get home.
If we get home. There's no telling where that screwed up spell sent us. This could be a broom closet in the basement of Dr. Doom's castle for all we know. Or a storage nook on Galactus' world ship. Holding pen on a scroll cruiser. Oh, maybe the inside of Robbie's brain.
There. Something powerful. Something strong. Something foul. That's where we begin.
Of course you were gonna say that.
You shouldn't be here. Nobody should be here.
Banner. At least that explains the foulness.
Ah, the illustrious hunter. And friends?
Really? You still follow me on Super Lake?
Not ringing the bell.
I can tear through the fabric of space and time itself.
It doesn't matter.
Let the fool prattle on. We must be onto something.
I cannot fathom how you found this facility, but I will soon enough. Your names may escape me, but you most assuredly will not.
Oh, we will see about that.
Hydra Immortalis!
This facility appears in no records, on no maps, not even in the minds of these loyal soldiers. So the question remains, how are you here?
Just a little of the old abracadabra. No big deal for a squad of ultra-powerful...
And well known.
heroes like us.